Hey guys, Fazzy back here, and today I wanted to go over an idea that I've been working on the past couple of weeks, really even here, just kind of in the back end, and I wanted to kind of explain my thoughts and everything on that here in today's video. And basically the topic is revamping how I rate players in NHL. And yeah, like I said, this has been something that has kind of been on the back burner for really the last little bit, but I want to really be able to take the use of real life stats and apply that in game and really just try and get the best overall ratings and everything without really having that bias there and really being able to just kind of leave it to the stats to tell the story of a player. And I think I've come up with a system that makes that work pretty good here in NHL. I'm still kind of testing things out and nothing's overall final here. It's going to be a lot of work going through all these players and everything here today, but I wanted to give you guys some of my proposed ideas here in today's video, and then kind of go with there. If I have to make changes, that is totally all good. But just before we get into all my ideas here, if you have not watched Tuis' video on how he rates his players, he put one up last year. I probably watched this thing, I don't know, 25, 30 times now at this point. It has a lot of great ideas and all that stuff. I've taken some of it and I've kind of mixed some of my own ideas in there with that being said. So yeah, if you haven't checked out his video, just take a look at it. It's crazy all the attention to detail and everything that he puts into his rosters. So let's get started with it here today. I did want to mention here, speed, agility, and acceleration are the only three stats that I haven't been able to come up with a logical way to give them their rating. So they would be the only three stats that are still somewhat subjective to myself and kind of based more on player reputation, how they've been in the past, and all of that. Again, if you have any ideas with that, definitely leave them in the comments down below, but those are the three stats that I haven't really been able to figure out and add into my system here today. When it comes to body checking, again, I think this was almost directly from Tuis' video himself. And even endurance here. It's going to be different here based on forwards and defense, of course, but they're going to be an assigned number like 300 body checks. Absolutely insane. Absolute top of the league. Get that. They get the 95 plus rating, where if you're down at 50 to 99 on the year, then you would get more closer to a 70. And I did want to say also, before we kind of get too far into this, that everything is based off of that 3-year window. So the past 2 years and this kind of current half season that we have going on. But yeah, again, I think endurance is pretty similar overall. Puck control, I did want to kind of do it by player type. I think it's safe to say every NHL player is going to have exceptional puck control, deking, and everything like that. I watched a video by, I think it was Rob Talks Hockey, is just saying like how you can be the worst NHL player in the league, but if you just go to the outdoor rink, you're going to absolutely destroy every player out there. So with that being said, everyone is going to get a bit of a higher rating for those kind of hand stats, the deking, puck control, and stuff like that. So you'll see that I kind of have that here as shown on screen. I did want to have some differential still between the player types. So like two-way forward gets a 95. Sniper and playmakers are both maxed out. Normally they have the most insane hands, so they get 99. Power forward, same kind of with the two-way, have those in the same kind of idea. And then grinder and enforcers, even though they're going to be lower than the other classes, they are still going to have elite hands compared to you or me. So that's kind of my reasoning behind puck control, deking, and stuff like that. When it comes to passing, I've kind of changed my mind a couple of times in this process. At first I wanted to do it just based off primary assist, but using the formula and the numbers and all that stuff I was trying to work with, it didn't really work out as well as I hoped. So I basically just did it on normal assists from 99 passing if you have 80 plus assists in the season, all the way down to 83 if you have 0 to 4. I think for the most part a lot of this stuff kind of speaks for itself. Same with the shoot pass bias. If you take a certain amount of shots in the season and it's averaged over the 3 seasons, that's kind of the number you're assigned there, is shown on screen. When it comes to the shot itself, again, I kind of was looking at different ways of doing this, but basically I was looking at the accuracy of doing shooting percentage, but again, it didn't really work overall for what I was looking to do. So I kind of currently have it based on goals scored in the season, where if you're a guy like Austin Matthews, he's getting 60 plus goal years and all that stuff, you're going to have 99 shooting. And I kind of did the same thing for power and accuracy. whatever you get for one, you get for the other. Still kind of looking for a way to differentiate between the two, but that's currently what I'm going with at the moment. Up next, like I said, agility and acceleration. I'm still kind of looking at trying to figure out some options. It might just be determined by myself, not too sure at the moment. Strength and balance, both set at all 99. So this is something, again, I wanted to talk about. Tuis does this in his, I think I have a few less stats that are 99 overall, but it's still the same idea. When it comes to strength, a lot of the time you don't really notice it at all in game. Balance you might notice a little bit more, but it is those heavier weighted stats that you still have to be able to bring up the players overall. And they are harder stats to quantify by numbers, so for those two I think it is fair having them at a 99 overall. When it comes to face-offs, I already have this exact same system already in-game, just based on win percentage of face-offs is what stat you will get in-game, so no changes there, that's already in my roster. Durability, it's just based off games played. Take the 3 years, average it out between whatever leagues you're playing in, all that. Easy, I think that's something that can definitely be quantified pretty easily by a number. Like I said earlier, deking is going to be determined by play type. They're all going to be pretty similar, but I think the sniper and the playmaker should be rewarded by having that little extra bit of a higher rating in those categories. When it comes to aggressiveness, first a little bit of a change here. It is going to be determined by the hit stat plus the shots blocked divided by 2. So why did I go for this for the aggressiveness? And that's basically because I've been watching Tuis' video and all that stuff. He described it as the balance between hits and blocking shots. So what's the easiest way of doing that? Taking those two numbers that you previously already decided and just dividing them by 2. I think that makes sense to me, so kind of what I have planned here. When it comes to poise, that's my last all 99 stat here. Apparently it doesn't really do much in game. Have to do an experiment regarding all that, but if everyone has it at 99, like Tuis was saying, no one really has the advantage there. When it comes to hand-eye, I decided to kind of have it by stick-checking plus passing divided by 2. So I did this because hand-eye can really be effective in both defensive and offensive situations. Obviously, in the defensive way, you have to intercept pucks and do all that. Passing in the offensive zone, pretty self-explanatory. So again, you take both those numbers, whatever they come out to be, just divide them by 2, and there's your rating for the hand-eye. When it comes to shot blocking, pretty simple. How many shots did he block in the past few seasons? And that's the rating that you get for that stat. When it comes to offensive awareness, I was working with a couple of different things again, just didn't really work out how I was looking in game. But if you're a 100-point scorer, you're going to have a 99 rating in offensive awareness. If you're not really putting up a ton of points, you're having less than 10 in a full season, you really shouldn't be that high, so you're going to be getting closer to an 80. Defensive awareness, this was one again, trying to kind of mess around with and come up with different ideas, but I decided to go with shot blocking plus stick checking divided by 2. And I basically decided to do this because those are two of the main stats in the defensive stat category. Obviously you have face-offs in there, but if you're a winger, if you're a defenseman, that really shouldn't figure into your overall rating. So I decided to take those two other defensive stats, divide those by 2, and that's your overall defensive rating. Discipline's another pretty self-explanatory one, just depends on how many penalties you take a year. Fighting skill, I decided to base off player type. This one you could probably go more in depth with how many fights, how many wins, losses, all that stuff, but wanted to keep it simple. Obviously Grinder and Enforcers are going to be a lot more successful at fights, let's just say, than Playmakers and Snipers, for the most part anyway, so they're going to be getting the higher overall rating in that stat. And then lastly is stick checking, and I decided to tie that more to takeaways for a season. So basically whatever your takeaway number is for those 3 years, divide that, and whatever number you get is what stat you get. I definitely wanted to try and tie that more to a defensive stat, just because it does boost up that defensive rating overall when you're looking at a player in franchise or just whatever. I do want to say I'm very, very early in this process. I'm still not totally decided if this is going to be the final way I do ratings, whatever. I've done Troy Terry and Alex Killorn so far, so I've only really done 2 players. Come out in an 84 and an 85 respectively. My current other way of doing it, I had Terry in an 86 and Killorn was an 84. So very little change there. So overall, I think this is going to be a good way of doing it. Again, I'm not sure how long this is going to take. I might even just save it for 25, but I don't know. I just kind of wanted to really take it to the next level when it comes to ratings, roster, and all that stuff. So I wanted to start working on this process as early as possible anyway. And here's just a bit more of an in-depth rating of Killorn's stats post-editing him with the system that we just went over a little bit earlier here. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's video on my perspective changes here coming when it comes to player ratings and all that. Definitely let me know, what do you guys think of all this? Nothing's final here. I'm still kind of messing around and changing some stuff here as I go, seeing what kind of works good and all that, but definitely let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next video.